Are you ready to find out when and why you should even hire a virtual assistant? In this video, I'm going to dive through a lot of the usual reasons why business owners like yourself or coaches or consultants need a virtual assistant and when you should actually go ahead and start hiring them. This is coming from someone who has been running a virtual assistant outsourcing agency in the last 5 years. So I have heard of them all basically, and trying to convince someone sometimes that they do need a virtual assistant can sometimes feel like pulling teeth out of someone. But a virtual assistant, a really good virtual assistant, can change your life and change your business for the better. Now, the first reason why that is so you can focus on your 20%. And what I mean by this is, if you've heard of Pareto's Law or the 80-20 principle, is out of the 10 things you're doing in your day, your 20% or 2 things of that you're doing on that are the things that are actually growing your business. So for example, for me, it's doing content and clients. That's it. The rest of the things in my business is fully either automated or delegated to someone else within my business. And it started with my assistant. She helped me basically free up a lot of the time that I was doing on the admin tasks, cleaning up my email, cleaning up my calendar, rescheduling things, making sure things actually flow well with my team. I don't have to focus on that. I give her pointers on what my standards are, so then she can keep doing it even when I'm traveling, when I am not there, even as I'm sick, or I just need a little bit of a time off. My assistant is able to handle it. And of course, I have an amazing operations manager. I have an amazing client success manager. But when it comes to taking care of me, my assistant is there for me. So that enables me to focus on that 20%, which is creating content for you guys. And of course, making sure that we show up for our clients in the best way inside of 2XU. So that is what I mean by, if you are getting to the point where you're not able to actually grow your business, it's because you need a virtual assistant. So that's the first reason, is so you can actually focus on growing your business instead of just running it. That's why you need to focus on your 20%. And that's the first thing that you need to figure out anyway, if you are going ahead and trying to hire a virtual assistant, is what is your 20%? What are the things that only you can do within the business, and what are the things you can start delegating and giving to someone else. That was not an overnight path, by the way, of how I got my assistant to now having our operations manager and our client success manager. That was a process on how to get there. But it started with having my virtual assistant as one of my first hires for the business, rather than a hire for one of our clients, because I needed someone to be able to work with me and actually freeing me up with a lot of the, not just the admin tasks, but a lot of the marketing, sales, and even the taking care of clients part of how to kind of take it off of my brain so I can actually hire someone else to take care of it. So that's kind of the chronological way of how I did it. Was I first hired an assistant. She took up a lot of the notes on what I was doing, how I was doing it, putting it in the documentation so I can actually hire for the other roles that we do have in 2XU. Started with that one hire. Which brings me to my next point on why you should hire a virtual assistant, is so you can document and automate things off of you. And like I said, with a virtual assistant, that's essentially what I did, is I started teaching someone how I would do certain things inside of the business. And mind you, this was like in 2XU's first year. So a lot of that has changed and morphed. But it started with me doing a Zoom call with her of like, okay, this is how we create the invoices for the clients. Okay, this is how we make sure that the clients are happy with their virtual assistant. This is how we do the onboarding process for our client. It started with that. And then it started to get automated with either being done by other people or being done by tools that can make it more of kind of a uniform output. So that is kind of the crescendo or the climb that starts with having a really good virtual assistant, is having someone who just documents how it is that you're doing certain things or how other people are doing things, so you can start automating, making adjustments, and of course removing yourself as the bottleneck in the process, because you're not the only one who knows to do a certain process. And same thing with your team members, is as you start growing, your processes isn't stuck in that one person's head in your pioneer hire, because it's already documented and automated with the help of your assistant. And of course, the biggest why that you should hire a virtual assistant is you want to have a business that can grow and scale without you. And that is kind of the goal, is that getting to your business to the point where you can step away, where you can focus on either the things that excite you or the things that you are passionate about, and your business can keep going. And I'm kind of the biggest testimonial of that, of course, because I do have a lot of the systems set up for that. But of course, for a lot of people, that could mean being able to spend time with family. For a lot of people, it could mean being able to focus on a new business venture. For a lot of people, that could mean being able to just grow their business without having to work 80 hours a week, as most entrepreneurs do, because they have their assistant managing and growing things without them. And of course, it starts with an assistant, but then you eventually start having an actual team with you, growing that business with you and without you. I've told this story many times on this channel, where in the middle of this year, I went off to Europe because I was pursuing our AI consulting agency, and I was doing different business deals, and I was doing a lot of networking with different people. And all that time, my business kept running. They kept onboarding new employees. They kept onboarding new clients. They kept showing up even as I'm not able to, because I was expanding essentially what 2XU is into what we now have with Create AI Consulting. So that is kind of the power of having a really good assistant, is you get to have a business that can grow and scale without you. Now, when should you hire a virtual assistant? The first thing is when you have recurring revenue. And this is a mistake that I see a lot of people make, is the first time that they ever get someone to pay them, they think, oh, I should start hiring, or, oh, this is now the perfect time to give someone this task. But if it's not recurring yet, then it doesn't make sense for you to hire someone, because a virtual assistant is a recurring investment. You have to keep paying them with money that you're hopefully receiving either every week, every month, every quarter, every year. There has to be some recurring revenue that you're already receiving, which brings me to the next point, is it could be a recurring client or customer that you have already. So for example, in 2XU, I actually didn't hire my own virtual assistant until I think our third client. That's when I started considering like, hey, okay, now I have processes that make sense for me to give to someone else. And this is, again, a mistake that I see a lot of people make, is they hire too soon, where the first couple of clients that they have, even if they don't have an ROI for themselves yet, is they hire someone to do it for them. And to be honest, you're just shooting yourself in the foot when you're doing that, because you're not able to actually have a process that your assistant can follow that can make you the money that you are paying them. That's what I mean by your assistant is an investment. But you have to always look at it of like, is there something that they can work on that can make me back the money that I am investing in them? So that's why it's important to either have your recurring revenue, whatever that looks like, or recurring clients and customers that you know that you can keep paying for your virtual assistant. You're not just going to leave them high and dry. You have a recurring way to make money within your business. And the third sign that you probably should hire an assistant is that you're no longer the expert. What I mean by this is, when you start a business, you're wearing a lot of different hats. You're doing a lot of different things within the business. You're probably your sales, your marketing, your operations, your own bookkeeper maybe. And you're getting to the point where you are not the expert. You shouldn't be the one doing this. You don't have the background on creating really good graphics other than following a few templates you've probably found online. You're not the person to be able to keep sending accurate invoices to your clients or your customers. There can be other people where that is their expertise. That is the thing that they like to do, that they enjoy to do, or they at least studied doing, so they know how to do it right. So when you get to that point within your business where you're growing, you have this recurring revenue, and you have tasks basically that are on your plate that, again, doesn't necessarily have to be done by you, can be probably done better by someone else, then it is time to go ahead and hire your first virtual assistant. That decision, of course, doesn't come easy, doesn't come lightly. So I do have a ton of videos here on my YouTube channel on how and where you can get started. Or of course, you can go ahead and take the 2XU scorecard, where we'll actually walk you through on what probably could be missing parts of why you shouldn't hire an assistant yet, and why you probably should be or have been ready basically to hire a virtual assistant. You guys can go ahead and take our free scorecard below. And of course, if you guys like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button right there. Comment below what tasks or outcomes are you thinking of giving to a virtual assistant. I would love to know. And if you still haven't yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home and how to have a business from home, which you guys can check out those two playlists right here and the latest videos right here. Hope you guys have an amazing day, and remember that small steps matters, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!